2911 debuted in October of 2020, and it's been absolutely awesome to share music and a message with you weekly, Thursdays, 12 noon Eastern. I got a good one for you today, so share this episode right now. I'm going to start with a little music, and we'll get to it. Hey, welcome into 2911, a faith experience.
All this pain, I wonder if I'll ever find my way. I wonder if my life could really change at all. All this earth, could all that is lost ever be found? Could a garden come up from this ground at all? You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of us. All around, hope is springing up from this old ground. Out of chaos, life can be found in you. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of us. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of us. Beautiful You make me new. You are making me new. You make me new. You are making me new. You make me new. You are making me new.
Yes, indeed. Once again, welcome into 2911, a faith experience. Just a warning that they're doing some construction behind my house. They're building a subdivision, so they're working back there. If you hear the sounds of construction and dump trucks and all that, pardon our mess. But let's get to it. Here's 2911, a faith experience. I think everyone at some point in their life seriously considers how they can make an impact. How they can make an impact. And everyone has lofty ideas about how to get it done. And that's making an impact anywhere. In your family, in your home, at your school, where you're doing education, at your church or an organization, a club you're in. on a team that you're playing on, in your work or your career, in the world. We all think about how we can really make an impact at some point in our lives, whether we're younger, older, or somewhere in between. And most times, that thought can revolve around long, drawn-out processes to get to that impact. Processes that include practicing something, studying something, learning about something, planning something, being deliberate and intentional about all of it so you can make an impact. And then add to that, working at whatever you're hoping to be impactful with for a long time, getting experience in that area. For example, say it's fashion. There's fashion school, internships with a designer, maybe, entry-level position with a company, or an assistant to a serious designer, if you're lucky. All while working on your personal designs after work or after study or all that kind of thing. Say it's athletics. I've seen this firsthand with my son's career. He has reached the level of a D1 football player. I'm proud. He had his best season this past season. Incredible. Second leading receiver on his team. Sixth leading receiver in his entire conference. All conference football player voted. Ranked 42nd in the nation as an FCS receiver. That's impact. And his road started when he was 7 years old in Youth Football League in Chicago. More practice sessions, more games than he or I can count. Learning about the game, workouts for strength, workouts to increase speed, camps to help development, game after game after game after game. Never an off season, constantly analyzing the game, any and everywhere it's on the screen. We do that now. He talks about the things he wants to do, the things he wants to accomplish, how he wants to make an impact. And me with music. Lessons began when I was 5 years old. I was an old guy, not so much. I can't begin to tell you how many hours I practiced over the years. Add to that, making connection with people and places to find opportunities to play and perform, not just because I love it, and I do, but because I want to make an impact with it. A positive impact in the world with the gift that God has trusted with me. And God has been faithful with me in that. Yes, he has. But does it have to be like that all the time for everybody? Everyone's desire to make an impact. Does it take all that in every case? Consider this, a quick story. I love this story. From an old favorite of so many of us, Winnie the Pooh. It occurred to Pooh and Piglet that they hadn't heard from Eeyore for several days. So they put on their hats and their coats and they trotted across the 100-acre wood to Eeyore's stick house. Inside the house was Eeyore. "Hello, Eeyore," said Pooh. "Hello, Pooh. Hello, Piglet," said Eeyore in a glum-sounding voice. "We just thought we'd check in on you," said Piglet, "because we hadn't heard from you. And so we wanted to know if you were okay." Eeyore was silent for a moment. "Am I okay?" he asked eventually. "Well, I don't know, to be honest." Are any of us really okay? That's what I ask myself. All I can tell you, Pooh and Piglet, is that right now I feel rather sad, alone, and not much fun to be around at all. Which is why I haven't bothered you, because you wouldn't want to waste your time hanging out with someone who is sad and alone and not much fun to be around at all. Would you now? Pooh looked at Piglet and Piglet looked at Pooh, and they both sat out on either side of Eeyore in his stick house. Eeyore looked at them in surprise. What are you doing?" "We're sitting here with you," said Pooh, "because we are your friends. And true friends don't care if someone's feeling sad or alone or not much fun to be around at all. True friends are there for you anyway. And so, here we are." "Oh," said Eeyore. "Oh." And the three of them sat there in silence. And while Pooh and Piglet said nothing at all, somehow, almost imperceptibly, Eeyore started to feel a very tiny little bit better. Because Pooh and Piglet were there. No more, no less, just there. There's a thing I learned from a very good pastor friend of mine, Pastor Charles Newman. He pastors a church in Phoenix, Arizona, Crossroads Lutheran Church. What's up, Crossroads? But we met in Atlanta, and I was his minister of worship arts at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Decatur, Georgia, for a few years. Had an amazing time working together in ministry. It was absolutely amazing. Incidentally, I'm his digital worship leader in his church in Phoenix right now, digital, virtual, from here in Tennessee. An interesting result of this pandemic. But I learned something from Pastor Charles, known as the ministry of presence. The ministry of presence, of being present. It's not about having to be somebody that you're not, nor is it about some narcissistic sense of your own importance. Rather, it's about being yourself and proactively deciding to love people. It's about doing what you can, even at times when it's just a welcoming smile, a connecting look, a sincere handshake. Keep in mind, the attention to the person needs to supersede the content of any interaction. I'll repeat that. The attention to the person is more important than the content of the interaction. The ministry of presence. My wife speaks about a wonderful couple at our church here in Knoxville who, when she had suffered a really serious broken leg, came by to visit her, delivered food for our family when I had some other engagements, and they babysat with her. Light conversation, warm smiles, and a ready ear for any and everything she had to say. The ministry of presence. This was 5 years ago, and my wife still talks about those visits today. We talked about it last week. The ministry of presence. Think about that as a gift God may have placed in you to share with someone. Simple, but incredibly important. Unembellished, but so ornate. Unadorned, but beautiful. The ministry of presence. The ministry of presence. Because Pooh and Piglet were there. No more, no less. Just there. We are looking for ways all the time here in this community of faith known as 2911. We are looking for ways to be disciples in the world, to be followers of Christ and share God's love in the world by being our authentic selves. No more, no less. Just you. Because the gifts that God has placed in you are God's gift to the world through you. And they may be athletics, like my son. They may be music, like me. They may be a warm smile, like you. A welcome handshake, a connecting look, warm words, a listening ear, or maybe just the ministry of presence, just being there for somebody. No more, no less, just there. Yeah, I think we can go out and find someone, somewhere, who may need the ministry of presence through us today.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. breath that I have and I'm able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in the darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as my maker. I've known you as my friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. Give you everything. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. Give you everything. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath I am able, I will sing the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
And you guys, I'm excited, and I thank you for joining me, not only every Thursday, but on the journey that we are all taking every day, every hour, as we endeavor to be God's gift to the world with the gifts he's given us. So that's what 2911 is all about. Like, share, subscribe, follow. I don't know if it's in that order or not. If you're on Facebook, like, share, and follow. Okay. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. And make sure you share this with someone. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone. They may be very, very blessed by it. Never know what someone wants. So, love y'all. And don't forget, in the words of Maya Angelou, people may forget what you say, people may forget what you do, but they will never forget the way you make them feel. So let's make somebody feel God's love today. Peace.